Hi friends, this is Manish Pandey. Welcome back to UiPath Forms tutorial series. Have you ever needed to build an automation where the board doesn't work entirely on its own, but instead waits for you to provide input before moving forward? If yes, then you will love this video. In this video, we will explore an exciting framework, the Attended Automation Trigger template in UiPath. This will be an overview video where I will explain what this template is, why it is useful, and discuss architecture of attended automation framework. In the next video, we will do a deep dive into its working and implementation. So stay tuned and let's get started. Before we jump into today's topic, let me ask you something. Do you know what is the difference between attended automation and unattended automation? Let's talk about this first. Unattended automation is typically used for highly repetitive, complex tasks that can be executed in batches on large amount of data like processing invoices, generating reports, or data migration, etc. It runs fully automated in the background. No human interaction required. Bot handles everything. Typically, it is scheduled or triggered via orchestrator. It is used for back office processes like data entry, report generation, invoice processing, etc. And to work with this, we have Robotics Enterprise Framework template, which is also known as RE framework. We have already covered this topic. I will share the playlist link in the video description. Now let's talk about attended automation. Attended automations are automations that run under human supervision, and this is best suited for use with the smaller and more fragmented tasks. The attended bot waits for user input before proceeding. It runs on the same machine on which the user performs the day-to-day task. It is used in the front office scenarios like customer support, HR onboarding, help desk automations, etc. And to work with this, we have attended automation triggers template. Let's start with the overview of attended automation triggers framework template. Do you know what exactly is the attended automation triggers template? The attended automation triggers framework template in UiPath is a predefined framework designed for creating attended automation workflows. It helps you quickly create automations with the forms and desktop triggers capabilities. It is designed to manage user interactions, event-based triggers, error handling, and logging in attended automations. Let me show you from where you can find attended automation triggers template. Let's click on home, and then right side you can see new from template. You will see robotics enterprise framework, and then next to that you can find attended automation framework. You just need to click on that and it will be added in your studio. When you create attended automation triggers template, it adds all the dependency and activities workflow which is necessary or required to use this template. The default dependency of this project templates are uipath.form.activities package, uipath.system.activities package, uipath.ui automation activities package, uipath.webapi.activities package. And this template comes by default with 8 folders, and each folder serving a particular purpose. Let's talk about each folders first. So the first folder we have data folder. Data folder is used to store any required data like configuration file. So here we have config.json file or any temporary file created on runtime for both use. Here we can have input files or output files generated by bot or any supporting files like config.json, backup file, config utility.json file, and temporary files. Next folder we have exceptions underscore screenshots. This folder can be used to store exception screenshot. Third folder form underscore config utility. It has the forms and the workflow which is used to manage form related settings and configure things. form error. It has the forms and workflow to handle the errors. Form input. It has the form and workflow to take user inputs. Form underscore status window. This folder has form to show process status like process started or completed. Next folder is form underscore success. This folder has the form and workflows to manage actions that needs to be performed after success messages. And the next folder, the last folder, that is framework underscore workflows. This folder contains workflow related to the framework, not specific to any process. And usually there is no change required in these workflows. Now let's talk about the architecture of attended automation trigger framework. This template uses the state machine design and it has four states: initialization config state, user input form and process, result form, and the last end process. Similarly, you will have seen in the robotics enterprise framework initialization, get transaction, and process. And each state connected with the transitions like successful, repeat process, success, business exception, system exception, and process, cancel form. I hope you are aware of the state machine, state, transitions, etc. If not, I have already uploaded a detailed video on state machine workflow. I suggest you to watch that video first. I will share the link in the video description. Let's talk about each state first. So the first one is initialization config state. This is the starting point of the automation where robot checks and initializes the configuration settings like file path, user settings, API keys, etc. It updates the configuration with the values from the config form. It sets default configuration values to ensure the process runs smoothly. If everything is successful, then it moves to the next state called user input form and process. If system exception occurs, then it moves to result form state, which displays the final outcome of the automation and ensures proper logging and error handling before proceeding. Next state is user input form and process. In this state, robot displays an input form to users where the user provides necessary details and interact with the automations through the forms. And robot triggers the workflows based on their actions such as clicking cancel, continue, select folder, or view user guide. After the user submits the form, the automation processes the input data. It performs the task based on the provided input. It waits for the user actions like triggers, button clicks, like that. If everything is successful, it moves to the result form state. If a business exception occurs, for example, invalid input, it moves to the result form state. If a system exception occurs, like application failure, it also moves to the result form state. If user clicks on cancel button, then it moves to end process and closes the form and complete the processing. Next state is result form. In this state, robot displays the final outcome of the automations, whether successful or error, and moves to next state called end process state. If user wants to rerun the automation with the new inputs, then they can do that by clicking on repeat process button on the result form, and again it will move to the user input form and process state. And the last is the end process state. This is the final step where the automation ensures all resources are closed properly. It ends the process smoothly. So, in this video, we covered an overview of the attended automation triggers template. In the next video, we'll take a deep dive into the framework and see the implementation. So, what do you think? Have you used this template before? Let me know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next video. See you soon.